Okay, we're live again, and we're here in the No, I guess we're not in the Facebook land. Where are we? Which land?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube land. Hey, YouTube land. Welcome back, and thank you again for tuning in with Play Some Guitar with Jason and Carey here live on YouTube land. So what we're doing is we want to introduce you to a brand spanking new location. So a couple of bookkeeping things are coming right up, and I know you're excited for those, so hang right on there just for a moment. But what we're doing is I'd like to introduce you to a new space. Today you'll notice that we have a new space here, and we're trying a couple of new things. We have ideas of expanding, and so what we're going to do is try a new location once in a while. And right now we're here in Augusta, Maine, the state capital, and there is a whopping population here in Augusta, Maine, and you're gonna love this. So without further ado, this is actually Studio Carey. So if you're ever in town in the Augusta area and you want to hop on the show, you are more than welcome. We invite you. Okay, let's see. So what I've got to do today, I'm going to welcome you. Today we're going to talk about California dreaming, and this was a wonderful idea from my wife, Catherine. Maybe she's watching, I'm not sure. If you're watching, maybe somebody give me a thumbs up. Hopefully Catherine's on today, and she is a wonderful moderator, and thank you so much for all you do for me and the rest of us, because we all love to play the guitar, and that's why we're here, play the guitar. So if you have any questions, it's really important, because once in a while we'll drop a signal and we'll have to cancel the chat and restart the live stream. So that happens occasionally. We're going to mitigate that as much as we can, the best we can. We're going to continue to push on. But reconnect with us at youtube.com/Jason Carey Guitar /live, and I think that will get you right back to us, okay? If it does disconnect, we'll hook right back. If you have questions, pop them in the chat. And we have a moderator here. What's our Mr. We're going to call him Mr. Moderator until we find a better name for Mr. Moderator. Okay? Maybe you'll meet Mr. Moderator one day and his helpful assistant over here. So, okay, one other message I have to talk to you about before we get really started is we do respond to all of our questions. We take guitar playing very seriously, and it's a really important part of my life, and I assume that because if you're here, it's also a really important part of your life. So we take the questions that you ask. If you're serious, we're serious about answering, okay? So don't hesitate to hop on the live chat. The live chat, we're going to do our best to not alter our live stream after it posts, so you should have access to all of the live chat in sequential order as you review the video in the future. Okay, so let's go ahead and tune up. We're running right on time, and today we have, hopefully, I don't know if you have a download, but the download's coming up, but we're going to tune up to standard tuning and then hop on to capo number 4. So let's do that first. Take a quick minute to tune, and I will be doing my best to be quiet while you tune. If we're new to tuning, here's my pitch. We'll use it as a reference pitch. And then what you want to do is listen to this pitch for about 4 seconds. And then go ahead and play your pitch. And as your pitch, try to evaluate whether your pitch is higher or lower than mine. And then what you want to do is just tune it right up into mine to match my guitar. And that'll be in standard concert pitch. So E. Next is A. You may hear a little chirping here and there. That's okay. No animals were harmed in the making of this video. So. Okay, we'll start back in with the D. And the G. and the G. We use the beginning of these sessions because we do experience technical difficulties right now, which we're working on ironing out. So if you do miss something, it's nothing really that important. Hopefully you come with your guitar already tuned. And if not, this is a good opportunity to take that moment to tune up the guitar. B. And we'll do B again. And then E. Mute. So we'll do E again. Okay, so now we're a few minutes behind, but what we should do is I just wanted to make sure that we got the download music for this California Dreaming. So what we should do is, do you have the download link up there? You should have the download link for California Dreaming by Mamas and the Papas. So this lesson is the full sheet. It includes a warm-up tutorial, a really cool 1, 2, 3, 4 warm-up, and then it also includes the chord study, and then it includes the formal structure of the song. We didn't get into the flute section for this particular lesson, but if you're interested in jamming out to the flute section, the flute solo, go right ahead and let us know, and we can get that posted for you, okay? It's fun stuff. But we are going to talk about, we're going to warm up first, but we do have some chord patterns come in for, and this is heaven because I didn't update that from the last session, but it actually California Dreamin', okay? But the chords are A sus2, E7 sus4, A minor, G, E sus2, E7 sus4, and then E sus4, and then we have an F chord in there. We'll use the bar F. This is a challenge. We'll talk about that. C, and then E7. So we have a pretty colorful selection of chords to choose to work with today. But right now we'll take a quick look at that warm-up section. I think that, yeah, here we have this. This was called the Spider, and we call it the Spider because it was in like I forget which guitar player, some guitar magazine in the 80s that you'd buy, and it was like our version of the National Geographic. That's what we looked at. And all the educated people looked at the other thing. So no, really, I looked at National Geographic too because it was pretty cool. Actually, I think I have a full unbroken collection of that, but pretty cool stuff. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 warm up. It's called the Spider, and it was published in this Guitar Player magazine. And I think Steve Vai, he's I guess a pretty good guitar player that maybe you know, you don't know. If you don't, you should know. You may want to know. Put it that way. It's called the Spider because once you get it kind of warmed up, your fingers look like a spider, and it's kind of fun to play this at parties. A little party trick. So fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4 do this diagonal pattern in position number 1. So finger 1 on fret D, 1 on the D, and it's diagonal, 1 over 1. Up 1 fret, up 1 string, up 1 fret, up 1 string, up 1 fret, up 1 string. Pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then reverse diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll be using down, up with the right hand, and then down, up with the right hand. What's going on over there? Anything funny? You see my eyes?
Yeah, they look pretty good.
Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2. And so on and so forth until we get up to, if you're on an acoustic guitar like I am tonight, the highest we want to go probably is fret number 12, and usually that's all we do. We do that full, almost a full octave anyway. Then once we ascend to the position 12, we would turn around and descend our way back down and watch our fingers carefully and actually play this very slowly and calculate each single right hand or picking hand if you're a left-handed guitar player. You can make long tones. This is a great exercise to spend a significant amount of time with, right? You can develop right hand and left hand control to a really high level with an exercise like this. So I would recommend, this is a lifetime sort of effort. Okay, so you have the tablature for that, and then we can, if you get mastering that, you can also incorporate, you know, the sweep picking techniques, and that's really cool. So we'll move on. What's next? We've got coming up, we got the old, oh, you've downloaded the music, hopefully. We're getting ready to start. So we always love new subscribers here, so I would recommend right now that if you're in our chat box, that you take a minute and you click on that little subscribe and show us a little bit of love, just a little bit of love. And I know we've been gaining subscribers at a fairly regular basis, and it's very helpful for us to do that, and we enjoy that you enjoy what you're doing, and we look forward to continue doing what we're doing. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you feel so compelled. Other than that, what we're going to do is get moving on to the song here. Now what we've got to do is really discover all of the chords for this song. Now what we've got to do before we do that, put on capo number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're basically using the capo. The capo is a way for us to not have to use finger number 1, right? So this totally frees up this first finger. Now I can do all the stuff I like to do with it, including playing that big fat F chord, okay? So finger number 1 doesn't need to capo this 4th fret anymore, so we're free to play all of these chords that we knew and loved down here in open position. So we'll start with A. That's A sus 2, okay? So we have open A, 4 middle strings, A, fret 2 on the D, fret 2 on the G, fret 0 on the B, and it's a really beautiful sound. You'll notice on the tablature, on the chord sheet for capo 4, that this chord is for use with the introduction. Okay, so we would basically finger this with these 2 fingers. That would give us these other 2 fingers, fingers 1 and 4, to rock out with. Okay, no, really. So that wasn't really that funny. It was kind of funny, but it wasn't really that funny. But we got finger 4 on fret number 3 on the B string. All right, so we'll start with that. We have this nice opportunity to play some melody. Okay, that's a really good thing to do. It's good to know that chords lend themselves to that kind of occasion. We have the opportunity to play melody with every chord that we play, as long as we have other fingers left to, you know, left to kind of run around with. So the next chord is E7 sus 4, and it has 4 open strings in it, which I love. And it's cool because if the capo is adjusted properly, my setup might be a little buzzy too, so you have to bear with that. I just have to be a little more ginger-like on my low E string, otherwise I get a little buzz. If you get that buzz, sometimes it means that we need to tighten up the capo a little bit more, make a more positive contact with the fretboard. But if you tighten it too much, just keep in mind that you run the risk, or we run the risk, of tuning the guitar right out of, bring the snap, you know, kind of tightening the guitar right out of tune. So we've got to find that happy balance of clampiness. Okay. Next chord is E7 sus 4 with 4 open strings. Open low E, fret 2 on the A, fret open, I guess it's open D, finger 2 on fret 2 on the G, open B, and open high E. Okay, and then A minor is open A, 2 on the D, 2 on the B, G, and then finger 1 on the B, and then open high E. Oh, yeah. All right. And then we're going for the G. Good point. we gotta keep moving on here. G chord, finger 3 on the low E, 2 on the A, open D, open G, open B, and fret 3 on the high E. Okay, so we get the nice chord patterns here. You can always come back and review later if you like. And then E7 sus4 can be played like this. And this is present in several really cool pop songs, so it's a really worthwhile chord to know. And that resolves by removing the 4th finger and adding finger number 1 on fret number 1 on the G string. So E7 sus4 it's a little bit of a challenge to keep all of these fingers sort of jammed into the same little fret on fret 2 on the A, D, and G strings, but we can do it. E was next. F is that same thing as the E. If I were to play that E chord with the last 3 fingers, what we're going to do is just shift each finger up. Watch this. See that? We're going to move it up. Everything goes up 1 fret. Just like a little tap of the guitar, right? And then we're going to we're going to put that first finger right there, okay? We're going to clamp that entire 1st fret, and that's F. If the guitar is in tune, mine's pretty close. It sounds pretty good. Then, if you have some issues with that chord too, hit me up in the chat because we do have some strategies for that F chord.
Are you sure you're in tune?
Yeah. but yeah, hit us up in the chat. I have a question. Are we sure we're in tune? Yeah, I'm not sure. We could check that out. I'll have to get back to you on that. C is going to be fret 3 on the A, fret 2 on the D, open G, fret 1 on the B, and open high E. Okay. Nail it down. Do we play the low E string, you say? We don't really play the low E string on this. We could. It's part of the chord, but we'll choke it out with the tip of the 3rd finger. Okay, get rid of that sound. Sort of cleans up the sound a little bit. And then E7 is the last one. And we got, let's see, we got E7 is, what is it? Hold on a second. Let's see if we can get that a little closer. See that? Okay, we got open low E, fret 2 on the A, open D, 1st finger on the G, open B, and open high E. E7. So we're moving right along. Any questions? Anything? Anything? No? Okay, hopefully you have your download because we're getting ready to talk about the introduction of the song. And the introduction, did I not write that out? I don't think I wrote it. Oh, I did write it out. So you have that on your sheet that's entitled, it's got a title on it. It's in your package, California Dreamin, Mamas and Papas Capo 4. Imagine that. So we've got A sus2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and we go back, skip over the G string, go back to that D string. We're playing that A sus2 chord that we learned just a moment ago. We will become expert in this chord if we're not already, okay? So this just takes a little bit of time. Just stick with it. You'll be fine. Open A, 2, 2, and open, right? 4 middle strings. We're starting the intro lick with just a forward roll, down, up, down with a pick, down, up, down, and then we skip back to the D string on fret 2 with an upstroke, right? So we got that much. Then we have 4th finger down, kind of joins us here on fret 3 on the B, and then finger 1 goes down to fret number 1 on the B, and then open B. Ooh, we don't want to go back to the G, we want to go back to the fret 2 on the D, right? So it's going to be, the tendency is to go back to that G for some reason. But we've got to skip over that, so we need to develop a little right hand technique. It's just like sewing, you know, or paddling a canoe. It's just controlling your pick. Okay? That happens 3 times. And then we get into the song after we play the E7 sus2 sus4, right? Open, 2, open, 2, open, open. Then we go ahead. Do we have any questions this far? No questions, nothing? Seriously? Really? Okay. All right, so I thought for sure by now we have one question. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it a second. What's your question? No question? Question? Okay. All right. Well, if I was going to play the song, what would my first question be? I think my first question would be, what's the strategy and why am I using certain fingers to get to certain chords? Well, that's a good question because I'd like to talk about that. So we're starting the A section of the song with a group of fingerings, fingers 2, 3, and 1 in this order because now we're very conscious about which chord we're going to next. So are we going to this chord or this chord and then are we going to this chord? Are we going to an F major 7 sharp 11? So we really have to know where we're going in order to decide which fingers we're going to use. So we'll start with A minor, and then fingers 2, 3, and 1. And then G is 3, 2, open, 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 and 4. And then F, that whole F chord, that big F, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, back to G, and then E7 sus4 for 4 strums, and then E2, and then F again is the pivotal chord which pops us up into the C. E7, A minor, and then F, and then E7 sus4 again, and then E2, 3, and then back to A, and then G, and then F, and G, and then E7 sus4. And we hang on the E7 sus4 for 2 bars there because in the B section you'll notice that the B section is twice as long as the A section, and the second half of the B section actually looks the same as the A section. So if there's with the exception, right, the E7 sus4 in the second half of the B section of the song, the E7 sus4 is 2 bars long. So it's just a really great section of the song just to kind of like bust it out, right? And then we go back to the A section, and then there's a lot to do with this tune. So if you have questions to anytime, seriously, anytime you can. What's that? Okay. So we're going to move right along. I've just got to stay on task here. So what we're going to do is review now, and we did talk about a brand new warm-up exercise. The warm-up is the most important part of any guitar practice session. So if you're anything like us, you know, it took us right down to the wire to get here tonight and get all ready and go, and then just press go. And it does take a little bit of time coming from our really busy lives to create a learning environment. You'll probably hear me say this. If you're sticking with us, if you come back again, time and again, it's likely you'll hear me say this. You know, it's my favorite R word. I'll repeat this a little bit because warm-up is just so important. It's essential, and if it's the only thing I have time to do, this is the kind of playing that I do, just to help, you know, maintain my position. If you're anything like, I don't know if you know who a guitar player's name is, Pat Metheny. So Pat would do warm-ups for a long period of time, and I guess he has so much repertoire to cover and so much maintenance, personal guitar maintenance to do, that he practices 8 hours a day, and this doesn't really fit everything into an 8-hour day. So he takes that 8-hour day or whatever and turns it into like a 3-month cycle or something, and then once he ends the 3-month cycle, he starts over at the beginning. So it's 8 hours a day for a 3-month period, and then that's the whole practice session. And then, so if we're just starting out, practice is pretty important in order to gain any territory. But the good news is, if you only have 5 minutes a day, that's all it takes to get into a good practice routine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So keep working that spider exercise. Up to fret 12 and back. Okay, have fun with that. Now, the next part of the two, we did cover the chords of the song. We had the A sus2. We had the E7 sus4. If you have questions about any of these chords, we have the A minor. Just let us know. G, we have an E sus4, an E. We also have an F. We have a C, and then we have an E7. Okay, so we have a number of chords here to do. And what I would recommend to do before we do anything else is to practice each chord, get each chord comfortable, so that we can play each chord. And once again, we're going to repeat. We're going to come back to the chord. Each finger lands at its respective place simultaneously, right? And then we strum or arpeggiate to make sure that every chord, every string is ringing properly. And then what we're going to do is strum. Once everything's clean and clear, then we can strum. Okay? Practice, practice, practice. The chord introduction for California Dreamin' is starting on the top, the D, G, and B strings, A sus2 chord, down, up, 3 times. Then E7 sus4. Then we let the chord progression rip. Thanks again for watching today. Hope you had an enjoyable time. And we do this every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But what we're doing, we actually got the, let's see, we've got another time that we're adding, I think. We've got another live stream to get our friends in Australia going. So it'll be an early morning if you're going to watch us around town here. But Australian fans, Australian viewers, we're working on a time for you. It should be the next couple of weeks, so we'll see you then. Until then, subscribe and watch us every Wednesday live at 9 p.m. Eastern.